A happy and glorious Easter morning to each of you beautiful people. You may have already noticed that the rhythm and timing of this service is very different, and that is by cause. Hopefully, the pace that you experienced this morning is going to give you lots of room to sink in and let everything that we share today to sink in. We want to welcome you to our Easter Sunday Sacred Ceremony Celebration Service. I am Vicki Jeter, your minister and spiritual director for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter. And there won't be an inspirational message today. In the place of what would normally be the homily, we will be having a releasing and embracing ceremony, very much like you might have experienced in a burning bowl service. It's simple but powerful. And to participate in the ceremony, you will want to have with you a pen and paper. And if you have the paper that dissolves in water, have also a small cup or a bowl of water to dissolve the paper. And someone was asking me earlier, does it need to be warm? It does not. Just regular water is fine. And you'll have, if you're set up, great. And if you're not, you have a few minutes to be able to do that, because we'll have some things that lead up to the actual opening of the sacred service, the ceremony part. And if you don't have dissolvable paper, that's fine. Just have available a trash can so that when you do your releasing, you can actually take that action and feel letting it go. And then also, I want you to know that during the ceremony, you will be invited. It's going to be a meditative state. It's a guided meditation state. And when we get to the release, you'll have a few minutes to actually sit with that and do some writing before you let it go. And then after the releasing, we'll go back into the meditative state to see about what you're accepting to bring into its place. And you'll have a few moments to actually sit with that. This isn't going to be a rush thing at all. And then once you've been able to actually see what you're embracing, you can also write that down. And sometimes people like to release that as well. That'll be entirely up to you. If you want to release what you're accepting at the same time, just energetically to just let it flow, or you might want to keep that piece and hang on to it and maybe put it in a little God box. That is a personal choice. Then within that sacred ceremony space, there will be time for sharing, because when you do a burning bowl, very often as you're doing your thing, you're able to declare to the people who are supporting you what your choice is. And so today, rather than that, after we have done the whole thing in that sacred space, we're going to do a brief sharing time, and you'll have the opportunity to simply name what you let go of and what you embraced if you wish, and that'll be optional. And so Tammy Ellis is our practitioner of the week today, and she will be available at the close of service to do individual treatment just like usual. Once we complete the ceremony, then the rhythm of service will go back somewhat to the way we do each on Sunday. And then at the end, Tammy would be available after the closing sharing time. And so, all of that being said, let us take a moment for opening prayer. Take a breath, embracing the welcoming each other, welcoming the presence of Spirit on this very special and sacred day at the pinnacle of this holy time. We welcome the divine, consciously, collectively, completely, recognizing that the one is divine love and law operating through each and every one of us uniquely, and yet together we are united in this space to offer ourselves the opportunity to take a special time to clear away that which is ready to be cleared away, opening ourselves to that renewal, to that rising of what is next in our lives, and doing it together. We do it with profound joy, simply saying with the heart of a child, thank you, presence of life. And so we release it, we let it be, and so it is. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Miss Shannon Modrell, who is available to sing live for us today, all of our music. And we're starting with the opening song, Give Yourself to Love.
Kind friends all gathered round, there's something I would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain, learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise just to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Thank you, Shannon. Our practitioner of the week, Miss Tammy Ellis.
I'm honored to be your practitioner of the day, of the week. And today I'm honored to read 3 different quotes from 3 different people. The first one is from the book Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss. Abraham, Jesus, and Muhammad and the Buddha shared an awakening process that is an archetypal journey. Each of these spiritual masters had a moment in which his soul was called forth and the deeper significance of his life was revealed to him. Each in his own way required guidance and education, and each was tested to see if his faith had become stronger than his need for earthly power. Our pathways, like theirs, have assignments and tests, each one part of a spiritual learning process that is meant to help us move through our illusions about the relative merit of external power and internal power. We need never feel either that we have too far to travel or that we have already arrived and can stop practicing this everyday virtues of compassion and mindfulness. And the second quote is by Richard Rohr. We are the stewards of our own souls. We are charged to awaken. And much of the work of spirituality is learning how to stay out of the way of this natural growing and awakening. We need to unlearn a lot, it seems, to get back to the foundational living, which is hidden in God. And that part is actually with Colossians 3:3 from the Bible. And this next sentence is from Richard Rohr. Transformation is often more about unlearning than learning. And the last quote is by Rumi. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. And back to you, Vicki.
So I want to invite you into the opening of our actual sacred ceremony. Get comfortable, sit back, and take in everything that has come so far, not only from this day, but from this week. You know, the time leading up to a sacred opportunity in spirit is infused with everything we need coming up to that, even if we haven't been aware of it. And so I absolutely know that this past week, which in spirit is a space of Holy Week, has been the foundation, laying the groundwork for today. And so go ahead, Vernon. Now is our time of releasing and embracing. Shannon's going to start us off with the power of the dream.
Deep within each heart, there lies a magic spark that lights the fire of our imagination. And since the dawn of man, the strength of just I can has brought together people of all nations. There's nothing ordinary in the living of each day. There's a special part every one of us will play. Feel the flame forever burn, teaching lessons we must learn to bring us closer to the power of the dream. The world unites in hope and peace. We pray that it will always be. It is the power of the dream that brings us here. Your mind will take you far. The rest is just your heart. You'll find your fate is all your own creation. And every boy and girl, as they come into this world, they bring the gift of hope and inspiration. Feel the flame forever burn, teaching lessons we must learn to bring us closer to the power of the dream. The world unites in hope and peace. We pray that it will always be. It is the power of the dream that brings us here. There's so much strength in all of us, every woman, child, and man. It's the moment that you think you can't, you discover that you can. Feel the flame forever burn, teaching lessons we must learn to bring us closer to the power of the dream. The world unites in hope and peace. We pray that it will always be. It is the power of the dream that brings us here. It's the power of the dream that brings us here.
Now, Tammy Ellis will lead us in the inner healing experience as our prayer going into the ceremony.
I invite you just to take a nice deep breath and just relax even further into where you're sitting or wherever you are. And just consider this beautiful inner healing experience. When you hear me pause in between the paragraphs I'm reading, I encourage you to also take another deep breath. Universal love enfolds me. Universal wisdom inspires me. Universal spirit enlightens me. Universal power encircles me. I am one, and all is well. As we begin the inner healing process, let me invite you to close your eyes and relax in quiet confidence, opening yourself to the miracle working higher power. Now, symbolize the unity of your thinking and feeling nature by touching your chest with your right hand, and let my words act as your own for your own inner acceptance and receptivity. I acknowledge that there is a power, intelligence, and wisdom greater than my own. I am in the midst of it, and it is in the midst of me. I am sensitive, it is sensitive and responsive to my every thought, word, action, and feeling. I now make this true for myself by saying to myself, I acknowledge. Acknowledging the higher power working through my life, I admit that I am personally responsible for solving my own problems while being guided and assisted by something greater than myself. As I am ready to surrender the conflicts of my ego to the wisdom of the infinite presence, I simply speak these words: I surrender. Knowing that forgiveness is the key to unconditional love and the kingdom of heaven, I now unconditionally forgive anyone and everyone who has ever injured me in any way, real or imagined. And I now forgive myself for all mistaken judgments and their resulting actions. For my deepest level of understanding, now I say, I forgive. Realizing that I continually experience the effects of my own thinking, I now choose to allow this higher power to recreate me deeply, filling my mind with thoughts that are only constructive, positive, loving, and beautiful. I call upon this divine inflow by stating aloud, I choose. I now center upon that one special idea that I'm willing to accept as real for me in this coming week, visualizing the idea as already acted upon and brought to pass, and seeing my idea become a fact in my experience. I enjoy the happiness and peace of thought, fulfilled, and gratefully speak these words: I accept. Knowing that I have an everlasting place in the midst of the power that sustains all creation, as well as the support of all those around me. I allow myself to relax in the peace of fulfillment and gratitude and say, I release. Now I call to mind the face of someone who has touched my life in powerful, wonderful ways: a friend or family or teacher, someone who is not here today with me. I turn toward that face in my mind's eye and I say, I am grateful for the good in your life. And now when I'm ready, I gently open my eyes to all the beautiful people in the Zoom boxes next to me. And I say to everyone around me, I'm grateful for the good in your life. And so it is. And back to you, Vicki.
And just flowing from the space that's been created, wherever it's taken you to. Relax into it. And now I'm inviting each of you to even more deeply begin to focus on your breathing. Breathe in deeply and slowly, and exhale deeply and slowly, sinking in to the space of receptivity. And we begin by activating the field of universal unconditional love. And that can mean what that means to you uniquely. Imagine now recalling, bringing to mind moments, relationships, times in your life when for you, you felt or witnessed or heard what felt like the deepest, most compassionate acceptance and regard and love that you've ever known. Just take a moment to reflect on those experiences and call them forth in this moment. Continuing to breathe easily, know that that regard, that compassion, that acceptance is yours now and always. Calling upon spirit by any name, knowing that the presence that is the source of your life is right here, right now, in that field of unconditional compassion, acceptance, and love. And as you breathe, that acceptance, that compassion, that embracing of your heart, your mind, and your soul is omnipresent at every point, in every way, at every level, in, as, and through every reflection of who and how you are. It is divine. It is perfect in this moment. And from this field of love, find that space within you that is open to that renewal, that uplifting of each area of your being in your life. And from that space of openness, check in and see. Ask yourself, what is mine to release in order to fully embrace and embody the next level of good in my life? Recognizing that spirit has everything I could ever need or want or dream of available to me. What in my system is ready to be relieved in order to roll away any stone of limitation and allow that essence that I am, that light, life, love, peace, power, beauty, and joy to shine forth even greater than I have ever known. What is being called to be released? And I invite you, as you consider this, take a stroll through the various areas of your life. Take a stroll through your body, asking that question, what is mine to let go of? Take a stroll through your relationships to your family. Take a stroll through your relationship to your profession and the things that inspire you. And we're going to take a moment now to allow you to do this on your own. And I invite you to make notes about what you're choosing to release, and then we'll release them. And in about 2 minutes or so, I'll let you know when it's time to come back and do that. So excited, Tasha. So I see some of us are still working. Take another 30 seconds, knowing you can come back to this process. And I have also been making notes of what Vernon and I are choosing to release. And I did get my water soluble paper. And I have here what I'm going to bless in this moment as holy water. And I'm going to take what I've written on my releasing paper and I'm going to put it right there in that glass and I'm going to watch it dissolve. Can you see it? See it getting cloudy? That's one piece of paper. Then I have another one for those of you who might not have been able to catch it the first time. You can see this, right, Vernon? Okay, that was mine, and now I'm going to do Vernon's. And I invite you in this space, whether you're using your water-soluble paper or whether you're using a trash can, absolutely let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. So see there, then again, it's going to dissolve right into a cloud. And just know that as I'm doing these, it's dissolving for all of us. We are doing this together. Oh, and maybe make a sound, letting go, just letting the fresh breeze of springtime come in and wash all of that away. Now, just taking a moment, just creating some space. There's no need to rush through these things. Just let's sit in a moment of stillness together, having let all that go. Imagine there's been waves and they're just settling down into a stillness. And as you do, imagine that your capacity for what is new has been expanded. Very often, when people have demonstrations of better and happier good than they've ever known, they'll come to me and they'll say, oh, this happened, and I want to do that again. And what do I do now? And the first thing I say is float with your new level of good. If there's been something that's been let go, and as new good is coming in, when we have that experience, to let it sink in. And so we take that moment to let it sink in what we have just released. And as we know, in metaphysics, in Centers for Spiritual Living and Science of Mind, spirit loves to fill a void. And so our next step is to breathe back into that meditative space, breathe back into knowing that not only are you surrounded by divine love, but that you are that divine love. And as you return there, you take your consciousness to that place and reconnect to your own heart and the universal heart. Ask yourself and see, what am I accepting? What am I choosing to bring into this expanded and cleared space? What is my next step in listening to that broadcast of spirit that has my divine vocation, that has received the impressions of my dreams? What is my next step to embracing and embodying it in actual form? Take a moment to listen and see. What does it look like? This new level of good in any or all areas of your life. What does it sound like? What has come to you? And what does it feel like to know that it is here now? And then the last question to ask yourself in actually manifesting the knowing that your good is here now. What must I become in order for this truth of divine spirit in, as, and through me to land long term? What must I become to embody this level of good in my life? And now, once again, we're going to take 2 minutes or so, 2 to 3 minutes. Give yourself an opportunity to do some writing about that. And once again, you may choose to release it as received by the law, or you may choose to hang on to it, depending on what your intuition tells you. And I'll let you know when to come back. Now, just as with the previous experience of releasing within the embracing, you can always come back to this process, and you can continue it actually right now. Is now we're going to have an opportunity for those of you who might like to share. The declaring of these things out loud, especially with loving witnesses, can be very powerful. So if you would like to simply name what you released and or embraced, just raise your hand like you do for sharing time at the end, and you can let us know. You can declare you're good. And oh, we are pausing the recording, so there's no concern for anything that might be more private to you. The only people that are going to hear this are the people that are here present. This is not going on the recording. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm going to say that again because we have the recording back on. Having come to our making our declarations of what we have released and received, now we consecrate it in affirmative prayer. And as we have so recently done, we begin with thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, not just for the good of this moment, but for everything. Thank you for everything, whether we understand it or not. And from this place of gratitude and gratitude paid forward, we recognize there is one life, one love, one law. And as there is only one that is all, necessarily, I am one with it. I am one with each person within the sound of my voice and beyond. And from the unity of one in mind, heart, and soul, I realize, as we realize together, that the word has been received by the law and is already acted upon and brought to pass. And we open ourselves to watch the miracle of the demonstrations coming in and manifesting in our actual experience and creating that grand rising of this Easter day, the grand rising declared by Centers for Spiritual Living for this year. So it is with that gratitude and that glorious joy that we say, thank you. And with the heart of a child, we release, let it be, and so it is.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful process, Vicki. Thank you so much. We thank you for sharing your time, talents, and prosperity with our Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. Your support keeps our center growing and thriving as our spiritual community. If you'll please see the ways to give in by snail mail, good old snail mail, or online, which are going to be listed in the chat. And let's say this March prosperity affirmation together, if you like, on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Right here, right now, I am thinking outside the box. I am drawing outside the lines. My receiving and giving of good is over the top today. And I pass to you, Vicki, for blessing of the offering.
And as we know, there are times when no more really needs to be said. And certainly I know that this is one of those times. And so in this moment, my blessing is to the timeless spirit of the Easter Bunny and the representations of the rainbow and the eggs that are hatched in the spring and the promise of the good and the continuance of new life that comes from that, and equally of the Christ consciousness that rises within each one of us, and that rising that is happening throughout face across the world, that everyone's holy time is as potent and as blessed. And as I said the word potent, the eggs began to roll out of the basket. And so it is a blessed and beautiful thing. And we thank you so much for being here to augment and help us to exponentially expand the good and bring it back to us to do it again. And so I let it be, and so it is.
So it is. Now it's time for announcements for upcoming events. On next Wednesday, it's already going to be April. Wow. On April 3rd is our first Wednesday Spiritual Connection Night. We hope you'll come join us. And this is from 7 o'clock to 8:15, around there, Eastern Standard Time. And I am just delighted to hear Dr. Gladys McGeary talk about her experiences. Vicki, Reverend Vicki, would you like to say something else about that?
Coming off of mute. Gladys McGarry, I have been blessed to be in communion with this woman for about 30 years. When I first met her, she was 75, pushing 80. And at that time, her hair had not yet turned white. She still held it in the same way she has it there, so elegant. This woman speaks to the truth of the bridge between spirit from which we come and how we land here, and our options for living here in a most gracious and grounded and wise way. And she still speaks today with the same level of fervor that she spoke to at 75 or 80 when I first met her. And so please do come on Wednesday. The clip that I have of her that we're sharing to start that Wednesday is only about 10 or 15 minutes. And then we're going to have time to talk about what she said. So there you go.
And then the first Thursday of the month is going to be men's group, and that'll be 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, April 4th. So any men who would like to join this, you're very welcome. And then we also have the first Saturday visioning next Saturday, April 6th. That's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's about 45 minutes. And that's going to be on this phone number here, this access code on Telebridge, on the Telebridge, just like a phone call, not the Zoom. And next Sunday, looking forward to you speaking, Reverend Vicki, about your gentleness, your giant gentleness is showing. And you're invited to join our next class. Reverend Vicki is going to be teaching this with Tammy Evans, our other practitioner, being our other Tammy, is going to be the assistant to the class. It's going to be for 8 weeks. You can see the title there is called The Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment. And you see the dates there from April 10th, when it's going to be on Wednesday nights. And the cost is about $140 plus books. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to call Reverend Vicki and let her know you're interested in attending. And Reverend Vicki, would you like to talk about this wonderful in-person opportunity?
Yes, indeed. So Miss Pat Ferguson, who very graciously is here today, we are celebrating that she served us for so very long as our accounting person and our constant contact person, getting out the weekly newsletter every week. And I hope you guys haven't been missing her too much, because she is just, you know, the bomb at doing particularly the constant contact. And she stepped away from that position in January, and we're just now coming to a place where we can gather, those of us who can, in person in Louisville. And it's going to be at the California Pizza Kitchen in the Oxmoor Mall area. And you can see the addresses there. And we are very interested in knowing who all is planning on attending that, so that I can give the number to the guy at the Pizza Kitchen. They just need to know how many people, you know, are going to be in a larger group, but we will be able to be seated together. And also, I want to let you know that LCSL is going to be providing appetizer level stuff there. We can't float everybody's meal. Certainly, we're gonna treat Pat to her meal, but if you're not able to invest in a full lunch that day, come on, because there will be appetizers to share that are going to be gifted, and we want everybody in the Louisville area or who can drive in to be able to come and get some hugs and meet each other maybe for the first time. So if you're thinking about coming to this event, please do let me know so I can have an accurate number to give the California Pizza Kitchen.
Yes, Pat, we appreciate everything you did for LCSL. There's probably just too much to mention. I know Reverend Vicky already mentioned that, and being our spiritual director for a year, et cetera, et cetera. So that's exciting. I'll be with y'all energetically since I'm in Texas. So I won't see you in person, but I'm sending you a big energetic hug of appreciation. And if you'll please join us after the force sharing time, if there's anything else you'd like to share in your heart or mind or what's going on with you after the benediction and closing of the service. And if you'll say on the count of 3 to each other and to yourself, 1, 2, 3, you are magnificent. And now for the closing song, the beautiful You Are the Face of God.
All right. I will sing this through a few times so we get an opportunity to get in the groove if we don't already know the song. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. One more time. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
And now, as we follow in the spirit of Happy Dance Snoopy, I do invite you to say our benediction for the day. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life star, hath had elsewhere its setting and cometh from afar, not in entire forgetfulness, not in unconsciousness, but trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home. Heaven lies about us in our infancy.